Hello everyone and welcome back to this humble abode of gameplay and memes. Today we once again return to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever, as I come back to you with another replay cast. So, since the last time was the cast of a team matchmaking game, and there were mostly Joes participating, as evident not just from their rank, but from the gameplay as well, this time we're going to be looking at some more pro-like people, and it's once again going to be a custom lobby, so we make a return to custom lobby with kinda sorta pro players, I suppose. Or at least, you know, the way Guile calls them, at any rate. And yes, this map is called Tropical Touch V1. It is a 10 by 10 kilometer map, so pretty claustrophobic for 10 people, which this is going to be a 5v5 here. There is a total of 24,000 reclaim on the map. The most interesting sites are probably these little pools in the northwestern and southeastern corner. You can see there are a few wreckages. There is one of a Salem destroyer, one of a Siren class cruiser, and what looks to be an Aeon Tech 1 naval factory. So that is present in both corners where the players don't spawn, but also lots of reclaim is scattered about the middle in the form of various wreckages of various units. Yes indeed, it even looks like there are some planes over there. If you can see, those are clearly some of these are clearly flyers, so that's also pretty cool. Don't always see flyer wreckages at the start of the game. But anyway, let us go ahead and start introducing our teams. Starting from Team 1 in the green corner. On the southernmost position, it's going to be Troll Dash. Interestingly enough, this player was present in our last cast, so I guess he is not entirely a Joe, or not entirely a pro. He's somewhere in the middle. And not often do you see that. Yes, going to be at 1400 rank points this time. This is his global rank, and is going to be playing UEF in Color Confusion Cyan, going first land. And next up, right next to him, another member of the Green Shade family of colors, is going to be Lazy Noob. So I'm pretty sure this is a different player from Lazy Avina, who, you know, we've seen multiple times. I think this is a different player because his rank is too low. So I guess we shouldn't refer to him as Lazy, so as to not disrespect Lazy Avina, but instead always call him Lazy Noob. So I guess I'll do that. So he is, yes, 1400 rank points, just like Troll, playing Cybran in Venomous Green and going first to land. And next up, further towards the north, we've got ourselves Lyuker, our long-standing member of our cast, always participates in some interesting games, featuring some of the highest level players, and he himself is of course also pretty high up there, depending on who you ask, of course. Is going to be at 1800 rank points this time, playing UEF in Flamboyant Pink, going first land. The last frontal player for this particular team, towards the north, is going to be Ryunosuke at 1500 rank points, playing UEF in Life Given Yellow, and interestingly going first air. So this is the first air player for this match. Let's see if we've got any more of these a little bit later, because the last player for Team 1 is clearly not doing that. This is going to be Korn on the air position at 1600 rank points, so the second highest rated player of this team. Playing Seraphim in Shrinking Violet and going first land. With just engineers, so very soon of course is going to be transitioning to air production, and then T3 air as quick as possible. Alright, moving on to Team 2. In the red corner, first up on the northern frontal position is going to be Aranei at 1700 rank points, playing Seraphim in Road Rage Red, going first land. For a little bit further towards the south and much further towards the east is going to be MISTERLOL, one of the lowest rated players in this game at 900 rank points, I guess. This is actually way below the entry level for this particular lobby, at least judging by the lobby's name. But nevertheless, he made it in. I suspect it's because he is a member of this clan. M_D. No idea what that means. Maybe someone in the comments can explain. We'll see. Anyway, playing UEF in Thalassophobia Blue, going first land. His neighbor on the front line is going to be BastBasket at 1100 rank points. I'm pretty sure this is also below the entry level, but I guess they do have some other players to balance it out, shall we say? Yeah, so this person is, yes, at 1100 rank points, playing Seraphim in Pastel Pink, going first land. The southernmost position belongs to Mr. Caban _. I'm not entirely sure if we've seen that before, but I've definitely seen that name many times, at the very least in other people's casts. So this person has got 1500 rank points, so pretty high up there. Is going to be playing Aeon in Taiga Green, going first land. And last but not least, for this team and for this particular game, we've got the highest rated player at a whopping 2300 rank points. Is going to be AmonRa, playing Cybran in Fresh and Fragrant Orange, going first land. Alright, now with the introductions out of the way, we should probably speed the game up. So yes, the interesting feature that we're going to be witnessing in this game is that 4 players from Team 2 are members of the same clan, so I think we can expect very close communication from them, like, you know, they're going to be communicating with each other probably over voice chat. We don't know if Team 1 is of course doing the same thing, but judging by what's gonna happen next, I think we can assume that they weren't communicating by voice chat, so yes, there is a bit of a discrepancy here. Some people, you know, it's going to be clan versus no clan, you know? To clan or not to clan? This is the question for today's replay. And, well, whether or not we find the answer might not actually matter, because, you know, this is just one match, so it's too low for to draw any kind of statistical conclusions, so we probably shouldn't really think about that. But anyway, now that I've said so much pointless stuff that doesn't concern anybody, let's watch the initial clashes. And yes, of course, we've got BastBasket already going aggressive, trying to steal the reclaim that is on the side of the enemy team. However, now that might come back to bite him, as now it looks like, yes, Lazy Noob is digging into his own reclaim, or into Team 2's reclaim, I dare say. The reclaim vanishes quite quickly indeed. On the flanks, on both the left and right flank, or both on the eastern and the western flank, it seems like, well, I was going to say it seems like Team 2 is the first to get there, but no. Only MISTERLOL on the western flank gets there first. And on the eastern flank, both commanders seem to be getting there at roughly the same time. Both Caban and Troll are going to be slurping all of these delicious flyers and some tanks as well. I think that might be a flak cannon, actually. No, it's a never mind, it's a pillar. Okay, yeah, it was a pillar tank. Yes, clashes all around. It doesn't seem like there were any sort of aggressive bomber plays initially, but now we can see that people are already delivering their engineers using transports. The engineers are of course being delivered first and foremost to the lakes, to the little lakes on the sides where you've got all of these delicious shipwrecks. For some reason only 1 engineer out of 3 is reclaiming those. I guess he doesn't want any more, because then he will overflow mass. A transport being slightly lost over where exactly it should go. This is not a very safe location for that transport, let me tell you, as it's about to get pounced upon by a couple of artillery pieces from Troll, but it looks like Caban can chase them away personally, so that's not going to be too big of a deal. On the western flank, it looks like tank forces are already building up, with AmonRa himself also advancing. Well, he stopped now, but I'm sure he will keep advancing very shortly in order to hopefully overwhelm the lonely Lyuker, who is just by himself here for now. On the far western side of the map, we've already got some upgrades going up, specifically gun for Aranei, while Ryunosuke is just constructing some factories for now, making that frontline production so he can replenish his forces more quickly than his opponent, at least hopefully. We've got Lazy Noob meanwhile building up his own gun. Oh yeah, by the way, fun fact, there is only 1 Aeon player in this game. It is of course Caban, so I guess pros still hate Aeon, as they usually do. I don't know, I don't think Aeon has been buffed too heavily in recent times, so I guess the developers of FAF are for now okay with them being underpowered. But oh, look at this. Now, if Lyuker knows good for him, he should definitely knows what's good for him. He should definitely start retreating, which he is doing now. A mere presence of AmonRa here already causes Lyuker to falter and hope to retreat to a safer position. Does he have overcharge, I wonder? I'm assuming no, actually he doesn't. I've noticed a trend that at this point in the game, people usually don't have overcharge. Well, besides MISTERLOL, who's overflowing mass like crazy, already has some overcharge though, so at least that's a plus. I think that was an overcharge shot from Cybran, but now that Lazy Noob is upgraded with a gun, and Cybran has no upgrades, he needs to be extremely careful here, especially considering there are two commanders in the area. Troll is flanking him from the east, Lazy Noob is flanking him from the west. BastBasket might be caught out of position, however he doesn't have his own gun, so at least he won't be as helpless against that. Major frontline build-ups happening for both Aranei and Ryunosuke, like I've already described. In fact, Aranei already has a bigger presence here, and he's already building Tech 2-point defense turrets using engineers and not his commander. Actually no, never mind. He started the construction with his commander, but then started building it up with engineers. Very smartly done. So yes, Aranei has got both T2 and guns, so Ryunosuke, while he does have a gun of his own now, he's still at a bit of a disadvantage because this PD creep right here is gonna cause some serious problems for him. In the middle we've got MISTERLOL engaging the forces off. Lyuker is now himself upgrading the gun. He realizes he needs it desperately against two commanders. If they aren't upgraded and he is, then he might still stand a chance. Ryunosuke is also approaching, trying to help him. He's in the process, however, he's abandoning his own forward base, which means a couple of his factories will be destroyed. Highly unfortunate for him indeed. While Aranei just continues PD creeping like there's no tomorrow. Look at this. Already having built up, how many turrets is that? 3 Utoshala turrets already. Yeah, this is the third one. And it's been finished now, so now Ryunosuke can't even walk back without being shot at by this turret. It looks as though he did, however, succeed in pushing back both AmonRa and MISTERLOL. And on the other flank, however, it looks like Cybran was being beset up by both of the enemy commanders, but he did manage to escape into the water. I think his, I don't think his head is sticking out of the water, so he can't really get shot from there. Or while he is in there. He's meanwhile started construction of T2 land units. I'm sure some other people already have transitioned to T2 land. If we can take a look around and see for ourselves, well, of course Aranei and Ryunosuke aren't going to be doing that, since Aranei is busy PD creeping and Ryunosuke is busy building helping Lyuker build a nano repair system. Interesting. Okay. Alright, oh yeah, gun range going up for Cybran. He finally realizes he needs more upgrades in order to actually do anything. But yes, both T2 land present for both Cybran and Troll. In this instance though, Cybran might have an advantage because he does have, obsidian tanks, which are really good against pillars specifically, because, pillars are beefy, and obsidians do lots and lots of damage per shot, and obsidians also have shields, so if you don't have too high of a DPS, they will just keep surviving and not being threatened at all. It looks like Lazy Noob was pushing quite aggressively against BastBasket, but ultimately had to give it up because, well, his forces just kind of ran out. And now BastBasket himself is using Ilshavos, which will put a stop to any further T1 pushes for the foreseeable future. Meanwhile, both of the air players have already transitioned to T3. Yes indeed, you can clearly see there is a spy plane out from Korn, which I was just highlighting a whole bunch. There is a spy plane from AmonRa as well. Interestingly, it looks like I was gonna say Korn might have a bit of an edge in terms of the air game, but no, they are pretty much exactly the same. Except there is now a strategic bomber out from AmonRa, so let's see what exactly that's gonna do. Meanwhile, though, there is a heavy push against Ryunosuke, which is being, well, no, not against Ryunosuke, against the two commanders, both Ryunosuke and Lyuker. However, I feel like they are good here because they're two commanders with guns. Obviously they should be good against one commander with just T1 land forces. And of course the blue forces out from MISTERLOL aren't going to change anything either, so the strategic bomber currently does have stealth on. However, it does not It is not moving yet, so let's take a look at Ryunosuke perhaps, because he is in some serious trouble. He's already below a third of his health, being shot at by Aranei, who is still full health, and an Utashala turret as well. He keeps trying to escape, but I think he can't. Yep, there you go. Highly unfortunate, the water wasn't deep enough, so Aranei was able to finish him off there, and now Lyuker is left alone against essentially 3 enemy commanders. That could be extremely risky for him. I pray we haven't missed the Strat Bomber. No, we haven't. Very cool. It looks like, yeah, he's sending the fighters forward before sending the Strat Bomber. Meanwhile, it looks like Lazy Noob is still hanging out, while Kaban is chasing down his land units, ignoring the commander. Very wise choice, you know, instead of fighting the commander, destroy what you can destroy. This also forces the Lazy Noob to walk away from his land units elsewhere. And in the meantime, Kaban actually manages to finish off Troll. I did not expect that at all. I guess the Strat Bomber helped, although no, I don't think the Strat Bomber was there. But yes, very well played by Kaban. So both both flanks of Team 1 suddenly getting highly weakened with the deaths of Ryunosuke and Troll. So now Kaban might be in some trouble though, as he is being chased down by both the commander of Lazy Noob as well as a whole bunch of T1 land units. He is walking into the enemy's base for some reason. Not entirely sure what's up with that. Have I missed the bomber yet? Do you still have your bomber? Oh yeah, I see it. Okay. Now well. So yes, the former base of Ryunosuke does of course get transferred to Lyuker, who is you know, nearby, while the former base of Troll does get transferred to Lazy Noob. Yes, indeed. The bomber is just hovering still at its skill 15 mass apparently. Yeah, 15 mass. Interesting. Alright, so Kaban is pushing super aggressively against the forward bases of Troll. Interestingly, oh yeah, Lazy Noob is forced to walk away, I guess, because of the Strat Bomber in his face. I think the Strat Bomber hit him just then. He's still at 4,000 health, so he could still technically kill Kaban and survive, I'm pretty sure. But probably doesn't want to risk it, so he's just retreating. Meanwhile, harassment continues out from who's this again? Aranei, right, yes. Harassment continues from Aranei, who is now employing Ilshivos in order to shoot up the forward positions of Lyuker. Lyuker himself is still on the front line with his nano and gun, as well as a couple T2 turrets, which will now be a match for Aranei's T2 turrets, his T2 PD creep. It looks like there is a group of Ilshivos walking through the middle from BastBasket, and they are actually quite deep into the enemy's front line. Look at this, yeah, they've breached quite heavily. And even though there is a T2 artillery piece, of course that's not going to hit anything, because, you know, T2 artillery against moving targets is a bit of a joke. They are walking, yes, they are walking quite deep in, and there's actually very little that can stop them here. There is a T1 anti-air turret, a TMD unit, which is, there is nothing else being built, and one tank. Interesting. The Strat Bomber from AmonRa is still up. Actually, did it get some veterancy? No, it's still like barely any mass killed. Meanwhile, Aranei has started work on a tactical missile upgrade, so I guess he is planning to move around a lot and hopefully destroy a couple of enemies' mass extractors. Hopefully some valuable T2 and T3s. Wow, and Ilshivo just got stunned there by the enemy's Medusa artillery piece. Interesting. I didn't even know it could stun T2 units. I'm sure it cannot stun T3 units, but you know, in any case, there's a whole bunch of factories here against those Ilshivos, so this is where they should get stopped in theory. We'll see if it's actually true though. Kaban is still pushing against that fire forward base of this time Lazy Noob, formerly of Troll, of course. Very interesting indeed. He's just not giving up at all. Looks like the positions, yeah, we've reached a bit of a stalemate here, so might speed this up slightly. The Ilshivos are bypassing the commander of Korn, and as well as the factories, and just going straight for the back line, I'm guessing. The fighter forces are of course being built up. There is now a force of Titans approaching the forward positions of Lazy Noob. They are not doing too hot against the Cerberus turrets. One of them already got killed, but I'm sure they can overwhelm this position eventually, especially if the turrets aren't focusing them properly like this. Alright, yep, 3 Cerberus turrets gone just like that. The Ilshevos, the sneaky Ilshevos that somehow made it all the way through the middle are now destroying the back door. Mass extractors of corn. I'm sure he's gonna be furious about that. And Kaban just dies. What? Got killed by Lazy Noob somehow. It looks like, yeah, it looks like he might have just gotten overwhelmed by a whole bunch of T2 land units, because, you know, there's some pillars still standing there. However, Lazy Noob himself might be a little bit threatened by those titans, unless he has overcharge, in which case he's gonna one-shot them, but, you know, it's still a bit of a bummer. They almost destroyed T3 missile launcher, which is worth way more than they are. Nope. Just barely not managing it. What a shame. What a shame indeed. I'm not entirely sure where the Strat Bomber is. It's still there, still on the ground, still waiting for a better time to strike. And the Ilshevos, yeah, a whole bunch of attack bombers had to be produced in order to get rid of those Ilshevos. Well, it did the job. Good thing they also stopped moving and didn't destroy the other extractor, but no, well. Speaking of extractors though, I feel like it's high time we take a look at the economies of our players. So right now we've got AmonRa, as expected, for the highest rated player in the game by far, leading the charge with over 200 mass per second. Very close to him is Lyuker, who's working with 2 bases. Oh, actually, just as AmonRa is working with 2 bases himself after the death of Kaban. There is also, of course, Aranei, who is stepping on AmonRa's heels. In this case, well, yeah, he does possess a very large area. He has killed an opposing player, so his position is extremely secure here in the north. And he's also in possession of the cliff extractor, which there is only one, but still, you know, it's kind of important. So it looks like Team 2 is leading over Team 1 in terms of mass income for now. In terms of total mass accrued, it's even worse. It's much more towards the Team 2's advantage, over 35,000 mass advantage. And a huge bunch of Ilshevos headed towards the positions of Lazy Noob. They are being met with bricks, however. So T3 land has officially hit the field on both sides. Both Team 2 producing Titans and Team 1 producing bricks. It looks like, yeah, the Ilshevos are a little bit shy. They can, of course, deal extremely well with T1 land units, but they don't do so hot against bricks. Bricks are basically superior to them in every way except speed. Another squadron of Titans being sent towards the middle. Once again out from MISTERLOL. It doesn't feel like they'll accomplish too much though. They're about to run into a couple bricks, and they're already being destroyed by artillery. T2 artillery, you know, you stop moving, you immediately get destroyed by that. Let's see if they can, nope. It hasn't landed a shot. Oh, down goes one more Titan. Yeah, the bricks just, you can see the bricks just easily dismantling them, of course, well, no problem whatsoever. In the middle, it looks like, oh, in the southeast, it looks like the Ilshevos did get pushed back by the bricks. However, not too many of them were killed, so at the very least, Lazy Noob won't get the reclaim here. Another squadron of Titans now being sent through Aranei's territory, so I guess he wants to reinforce Aranei's troops in case the guy wants to push, the Seraphim man wants to push. However, I'm not entirely sure if he should, because, you know, there are plenty of T2 turrets out from Lyuker defending this position, as well as some Percivals now. Shielded Percivals, of course, will present a serious problem for any sort of land force, unless it's a Galactic Colossus who can just insta-give them. But we'll see how that situation develops yet. In the meantime, it also looks like, no, I was gonna say it looks like Team 1 is catching up to Team 2, but it's actually just, you know, the mass per second fluctuating. The bricks have crawled into the lake near Team 2's main base and are now destroying some mass extractors, some outliers. It looks like they are being met with harbingers now, and those harbingers might actually be able to stop them. Because, you know, we've got harbinger production right there, and there's now T3 gunships as well dealing with them, so the bricks should probably walk away now before they all get destroyed for no reason. A massive tactical missile battery, 5 launchers being constructed by Lyuker, are now being sent against the mass extractors of Aranei, which, it should be noted, these are T3 mass extractors, and they do get destroyed. Ow. Okay, T2 extractor here also goes down for MISTERLOL, so definitely good targeting choice from Lyuker. Even though there are so many missile defense units here, they are still failing to properly cover the mass extractors, which still keep getting destroyed because there are just so many missiles. It looks like yes, it looks like Aranei is still attempting to build up a force of, oh yeah, this time he's constructing a whole bunch of T1 factories to make use of that infamous Zethui T1 artillery mega spam, also known as skill. In certain circles of the FAF community, there is a huge batch of missiles flying in and destroying the T3 factory. T3 land factory headquarters of BastBasket. Well, that was highly unfortunate. At the very least, he did manage to construct or start work on a T3 the power generator, so at least that might get finished. Surprisingly, a force of Harbingers out from AmonRa, formerly belonging to Kaban of course, are now pushing all the way towards Team 1's main base. I have no idea how they've been let through, but no, they won't get any much further because all of these attack bombers that stopped the first incursion will now stop them as well. The air force is of course being built up in massive quantities. There is already at least three T3 gunships for AmonRa, so he's gonna guard his territory with these in case somebody does break in. More missiles flying every which way. A Yetheltha emerges out from Aranei. It looks like there are missiles being sent at the... Oh! The Yetheltha loses a third of its health because it gets hit by a whole bunch of missiles. Damn! I'm glad we caught that one. Wow, that was cool. That was really cool. Hitting a moving target with those tactical missiles is always an arduous task, but when they do land, some serious health is lost from them. Alright, yeah, it looks like Lyuker is still attempting to snipe the T3 power generators of Aranei, but it's not quite working. Meanwhile, counter missiles flying, or not counter, but like retaliatory missiles, I guess I should say, are flying out from Aranei, but they are not hitting anything because they're flying in one by one instead of, all at the same time. He keeps launching more missiles too for some reason, not entirely sure. And now the Percivals are already storming his positions. There is a T3 land factory here, which he would like not to lose, I'm sure. But the Yetheltha is now on the case and will probably destroy all these Percivals. And yeah, those are just going to be some free experience for the chicken. No problem whatsoever. Just look at them, completely evaporate. We can also take a look at the health if we do this, I guess. Yep. See how quickly those Percivals are just disappearing under the wrath of the mighty chicken. So nope, they will get cleaned up all the same. They do manage to destroy one mass extractor, but that's it. Not the T3 factory, none of that sort. A T3 upgrade on the way for Lyuker, who's already got himself resource allocation system. Speaking of RAS, by the way, does anyone else have it in the game? Because, according to the opinion of some people, if you do have a resource allocation system, if you build it in every game, at least in every team game, it automatically increases your rank by at least 500 points. But for now, I don't see anybody else building it. It looks like the base of BastBasket is still being targeted by the missile barrages from Lyuker. I don't think it's gonna land this time though, because there are just so many defense units now that... Hello? Oh, never mind, it actually penetrated the shield, destroyed a whole bunch of missile defense units as well. And now this might be problematic. Oh, destroyed another... I think that was a... Yeah, I think that was a normal T3 land factory. Oh, and the mass extractor goes down. I think BastBasket himself might want to walk away from here because he is in the line of fire as well. Oh. Almost got another T3 mass extractor. Oh no. These missiles have been the absolute bane of the Team 2's existence so far. However, they might have some solutions, some bigger missiles here, as they've now constructed a Fat Boy, which, I mean, obviously a Fat Boy isn't a missile launcher, but there we have a strategic missile launcher out from Aranei. And not only that, there is also one from AmonRa as well. So, a whole bunch of missile launchers that will cause some serious troubles for Team 1 in the near future. Do they know about it? Do they even have defenses from these? Let's see. So, yes, there is a defense square in the middle of Team 1's base. It has been built by Korn, of course. On the northwest, it doesn't seem like there is even any attempts really by Lyuker, sorry, to build any of that. And on the southeast, well, pretty much the same thing. There's barely anything here. T1 mass extractor still, so yeah, there's nothing to even protect with missile defense, so kind of makes sense, I suppose. There we go, resource allocation system going up for Aranei. The Seraphim, of course, famous for having not one but two resource allocation system upgrades along with the Aeon, who have now been eliminated from the game. I'm of course talking about the commanders. Obviously, Seraphim support commanders have no RAS upgrades to speak of, unlike the three other factions, and there is no double RAS for any support commanders in the game. That would just be completely broken, in my opinion, at least. Lyuker just walking around building shields. I think he just built a shield around his commander. Yeah, he just wants his commander to chill in that area, protected from as much stuff as possible. The fat boy is now blasting the forces of Lyuker, where, yeah, you've still got some bricks around here, still walking around, fighting some Percivals out from MISTERLOL now. So yes, MISTERLOL of course also transitioning to G3 land. I mean, how else could he possibly build a fat boy, right?
Bruh.
But a rival fat boy has been built up by Lyuker, which has already hit the front lines. They are already feeling its wrath, destroyed all of the T1 factories that were spamming artillery. The artillery would of course just be free experience for the fat boy as well. Speaking of experience, interestingly enough, the Thotha still hasn't gained the rank of veterancy despite having killed so many Percivals. It's still, yeah, it's still like barely not enough for 1-star veterancy, so the Thotha is still fairly damaged. Not that big of a deal for it, but it has been damaged, you know. Yeah, it looks like at this point Aranei has got himself an advanced resource allocation system, and there we go, the first missile is being launched. It is actually coming out from AmonRa. And where exactly is it aiming? aiming this missile. Let's see where that's going. It's going towards the northwest. Oh, I feel like it's gonna hit all of this mass production and all of this T3 land factory HQ and all that cool stuff. Yep, because there is absolutely nothing to stop it. It's out of range of the main defense unit, and boom! The generators are surprisingly intact, but yes, the factory headquarters has been vaporized, as have been a whole bunch of T3 mass extractors, so ow, fairly painful indeed for Team 1. Cut down their mass production from whatever it was before to 750 per second. I'm sure they aren't too happy about that. Well, I mean, I guess we can probably calculate how much it was. You know, a T3 mass extractor fully capped is producing 27 mass per second, so 5 times 27, that's gonna be 135, so it was somewhere around 900, the mass production, but now it's 750. And also another nuke being launched by Aranei, so once again, it is being launched towards the fire base of Lyuker, interestingly enough. So Lyuker is about to get hit by 2 strategic missiles here, with no way of defending from them. I'm sure he's not mad about that at all. Somehow the Flan headquarters survives, which he, for some reason, has built on the front line. I have no idea what's happening, but yeah. That nuke wasn't that good, I dare say. You know, it didn't hit the fat boy. The fat boy is still reigning supreme. Destroyed the T3 factory that was on the front line. The Filthy is just hiding from it behind the mountain, having lost 2/3 of its health by now. Still no veterancy, by the way. So yeah, that nuke wasn't nearly as good as the first one, but you know, it did destroy some stuff, so it wasn't completely wasted. It has destroyed 15,000 mass, so while, you know, the launcher as a whole hasn't paid off, the one nuke definitely has. Okay, yeah, the bricks just pushing into the main base of, AmonRa, or of Team 2, I should say. What? Oh, interesting. Okay, so there are now Percivals out from Lyuker. They somehow made it all the way into Team 2's main base as well, so they are being attacked by Percivals from the front and bricks from the south. This time, the Percivals actually went ahead and killed the commander of BastBasket, who was standing right here. Interesting. Well, it looks like the Percivals will not accomplish anything else here. Neither will the bricks, which, yeah, pushed directly into a Galactic Colossus out from AmonRa. The Colossus, of course, already gaining some free veterancy off of them. It looks like a serious amount of Corsairs are being built up by AmonRa. Already 15 in the bank. Probably will build a few more relatively soon here. But the Corsairs are now on the move. They are moving towards the north. It looks like he might be thinking about attacking the Fat Boy, because, you know, there is absolutely nothing to stop that Fat Boy. It has killed the chicken for free. It's now a 3-star veteran working on further installations of Aranei, about to destroy another T3 factory. The losses this Fat Boy has inflicted are absolutely catastrophic. So yeah, you gotta deal with that, and here you go. The Corsairs are coming in. They are targeting the Fat Boy with all their missiles. The shield has been destroyed. But now, it feels like something big is brewing here, as both the air forces of Khorne and AmonRa are approaching the position of the Fat Boy. So while the Fat Boy might get destroyed here, it's not the end of things, because, yep, the Corsairs are beset upon by Khorne's fighters, and now the Khorne's fighters are engaged with the AmonRa's fighters. It looks like Khorne is getting a little bit of a better turn, although it's too early to say. It looks like, yes indeed, Khorne might be getting a better end of this engagement, because look at how fast all the fighters from AmonRa are dropping. It looks like Khorne is in fact getting better turns, and if we get a little bit closer, yes indeed, it looks like, yep, AmonRa has actually lost this engagement, despite having, you know, almost a, what is it now, a 700 rank advantage over Khorne. Still loses air. Wow, well that was an engagement and a half. So much wreckage here, by the way, left from all these fighters. Look at this, 56,000 mast. A Fat Boy wreckage among other things. And what is that? It's a Strat Bomber wreckage, right? Because Strat Bombers were sent together with Corsairs to deal with the Fat Boy. Well, air win indeed. That's what Khorne said. He's also constructed a nuke now. I'm guessing he's constructed that a while ago. And I guess, I don't know, we'll see if he's got some targets for that nuke. Missiles being launched, more missiles out from Lyuker. He's built another missile battery in the middle, and now being launched towards nothing. I guess he wanted to eliminate the Fat Boy, but the Fat Boy moved, and it was not meant to be. Troll is saying, wow, you out-microed him real good. I thought you were at a numbers disadvantage. And then Khorne makes the most badass reply of all time. Yes, I did have a numbers disadvantage. So what? I still won. What? What do you want from me? I'm just that good. Numbers disadvantage, 700 rank disadvantage, and I still won. What a giga chat. And now, Khorne is showing how it's done to AmonRa, sending a whole bunch of Notha bombers, as well as Strat bombers apparently as well, towards the enemy Fat Boy, which will get completely obliterated, of course. The fighting force of AmonRa is completely, you know, gonna get completely annihilated. This is really not good. Yes, the Fat Boy has been destroyed. The bombers should now retreat, of course, but they are just hanging around for some reason. Yeah, just withdraw your bombers, dude. They can't do anything else here. There you go. Whew, what a turn of events indeed. They might have lost a Fat Boy, but they won the air game for like the next 10 minutes or so, at the very least. And they've still got a nuke which they haven't launched. Well, it's not finished yet, but you know, it will get finished eventually. In terms of mass per second, the teams are pretty much even. Yeah, 1100 per second for both. This might change very soon in Team 1's favor, as there is another Fat Boy on the northern side destroying some T3 mass extractors. Going to be a painful loss indeed. I hope at least these mass extractors paid off, you know, before they are destroyed. Scouts being sent to see if there is, you know, if there is anything protecting this Fat Boy. Currently it's just 3 SAM launchers, which is cool, but it won't protect it from a swarm of Corsairs. You need fighters for that, or a bunch of flak. And there is now a megalith out from Lazy Noob, traversing the southern side of the map. It has killed the Galactic Colossus, which is now being reclaimed. Or not, yes, it is reclaimed very slowly by Lazy Noob. The megalith has secured the position, and now with all these bricks and all the bouncers and all the T1 artillery as well, it looks like Lazy Noob might be primed for a push here. Well, at the very least, you know, at the very least, the Fat Boy of Team 2 is being reclaimed by them. and not by Team 1, not by the enemies. And there you go. The nuke out from Korn has been launched, is now headed towards the southeastern, looks like. Yeah, looks like it's headed towards the southeastern part of Team 2's base, aka the former base of Kaban, so we might catch another brilliant nuke here. Let's see. It's going to land in 3, 2, 1, boom! There you go. Basically the same exact nuke that Team 2 launched first. The same exact nuke as the first nuke, but you know, mirrored of course, because it's now being launched by Team 2. Meanwhile, Aranei launches one of his own nukes, and it looks like it's just targeting the fat boy. Yep. Run, fatty, run! Oh well, there is nowhere for you to run anymore. Down goes the fat boy. And not just himself, but its wreckage also gets vaporized. Meanwhile, there is a nuke from AmonRa headed towards the southern side. Oh yeah, it's about to hit all of these bricks and bouncers. I think that's going to be beautiful as well. I am unfortunately not going to be able to tell how much it destroyed, but oh, ho, 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 ho. All of the bricks, all of the bouncers, all of the Medusa. The only thing left is the megalith. And interestingly, I don't think the megalith actually got... Well, yeah, I don't think the megalith actually got hit by the main blast of the nuke. It only got hit by the EMP, but not much else. So, I guess Lazy Noob kind of got lucky in terms of that. Now, though, the megalith is going to get bombarded from afar by the fat boy, which is not that great. Because, you know, the megalith has some serious trouble dealing with fat boys, of course, because it's not just shorter range, it's also slow. Another megalith, however, might solve this problem. 2 megaliths against a fat boy and a galactic colossus are engaging on the southern side. Meanwhile, though, a T3 artillery installation has been completed for Aranei and is already firing. Yes, I think it's the first shot is being sent now. Not sure where it's being sent, I guess we can tell. The problem is, of course, I'm pretty sure it's been scouted a long time ago now, so... Oh no, oh no, oh no. It didn't hit anything. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, there's plenty of shielding already in Team 1's base, and I'm sure there will be more very short... Oh, god. Okay, you gotta patch up those holes real quick. Wow, that was a bit of a mess. Okay, can you destroy anything? Let me see. Can we... Nope. Wrong generator. Should have hit that one again. But, you know, if they do finally destroy something, one generator could cause a massive chain reaction here, so... Korn better pay attention and actually like to reclaim those generators before they get hit. Okay, the next shot just went into the shield. I see how it is. So the Galactic Colossus actually was killed by the 2 megaliths. I apologize for missing that, but you know, it was kind of obvious. One of the megaliths is super hurt, reduced below 10,000 health, but it's still operational and it's still walking away, and so is the other megalith. It looks like, yeah, the push on the eastern side from Team 1 has petered out because, you know, there's nothing to push with anymore. You've got one barely moving megalith and one megalith at 2/3 of his health. But that wouldn't be enough to assault the base at this point, I'm fairly certain. Meanwhile, Team 1's Yethotha is walking all over the former positions of Lyuker, destroying all of that. T3 factory headquarters about to go down. Absolutely tragic. It looks like there are plenty of tactical missiles though for Lyuker to launch, but they are not doing anything right now. I think he should try to destroy the chicken with those missiles. I wonder if he's gonna do that. The artillery is now firing upon the base of Lyuker, who himself is now constructing a T3 artillery, actually. It is being heavily shielded. Okay, that wasn't me pausing the game, I have no idea what that was. Alright, now there is a fat boy on the western flank which will chase the chicken away. Naturally. Yes, the artillery out from Lyuker is 1/3 of the way done, but it's already being bombarded by the opposing artillery. And okay, I was gonna say, I think Aranei has a better progress on his second artillery than Lyuker has on his first, but it's not true, clearly. 2 fat boys now out from MISTERLOL, protecting the middle as well as the eastern side of Team 2's base. Oh no, another air engagement. Oh, good, I caught that at least. Okay, it looks like... Oh... It looks kind of close, but I think AmonRa is gonna lose that once again. Yep. This time I can't really tell if it was better micro or the numbers advantage, but yeah, once again masterfully done by Korn, completely outplaying AmonRa in terms of the air game, and emerging victorious once again. So still, even though AmonRa is, you know, has lost air once again. You know, he still has those Cybran stealth bombers, so in theory he can still use air. Just have, you know, you won't just have a free raid. You will have to be extremely careful. Yes, the artillery is targeting... What? It's targeting the mountain, huh? Oh, no, these are engineers. Yeah, the engineers are attack moving all the way into the enemy base, apparently. Yes, the artillery is still targeting the opposing artillery, unfinished one, and still not accomplishing much right now. I really wish he... Oh, wait. I was gonna say, I really wish he could destroy something, but he actually did. Wow, okay, so... At least one generator and one factory was destroyed by this artillery, so they did something. A second missile being launched by the nuke launcher of Korn. At least I think it's the second missile, right? Yeah, pretty sure. That is going towards the north, where once again it's completely unprotected. It's going to destroy some more vulnerable T3 mass extractors. Oh no, and it's gonna hit the chicken as well. Oh god, chicken, you're going in the wrong direction. Yep, down goes the chicken. Of course, you know, destroying the chicken with a nuke doesn't prevent the emergence of the death ball. It's still going to come out, but in this instance the death ball will not kill anything at all. So a bit of a waste, but well, highly unfortunate for Aranei. I think we can actually tell how much the nuke destroyed this time. I think the last time it was like around 40-something thousand, so basically as successful as the first one, pretty much. Nukes will now of course come out of both AmonRa and Aranei, you know. This is how the nukes will be cycled in this particular game. I wonder where it's going. Let me see. Looks like it's going towards the eastern side, and it might be... Yeah, I think he might be targeting the megalith with that. The megalith will not die though. No, never mind. Let's go. It got intercepted by the defense unit in the middle. It's actually a different defense unit. That one was built not by Korn, but by Lazy Noob. So, mad props to him for that. I don't think Team 2 expected that. Lyuker said they broke the engineer. What? Broke the engineer? What do you mean? No idea. It should be noted though that at this point Team 1 is firmly in the lead in terms of mass per second. In terms of total mass accrued, Team 2 is still ahead, but the advantage is dissipating slowly but surely. You can already see 2.05 million mass versus 1.93 million. That is going to disappear much quicker than you'd expect. There are so many T3 shields covering this artillery piece, I'm pretty sure it's impossible to destroy right now. Another air engagement, and this time it's over a Soul Ripper. Yep, I totally missed a Soul Ripper, which has destroyed one of the Fat Boys. The other Fat Boy barely manages to escape. The Soul Ripper is reduced to 5,000 health. It's retreating. I think at this point you just gotta commit that you have to destroy the Soul Ripper. You can't let it escape at just 5,000 health. There you go. Yep, AmonRa sacrifices all of his air force, but does destroy the Ripper finally. At this point, though, with essentially two Fat Boys lost, that does not look very good for the ground forces of Team 2. They've got a Fat Boy advancing in the middle. They're launching another nuke at the megalith, this time out from... Who is this again? Aranei, right. This time from Aranei. It's going there slowly but surely. The Soul Ripper is already being reclaimed by the engineers of Lazy Noob. Wow, how quick was that? Alright, let's see if the nuke actually... I think the nuke won't hit the megalith at all. What? Oh no. Oh, that's catastrophic. The nuke didn't hit the megalith at all. And now there's a whole bunch of angry bricks and Percivals emerging from the lake directly in the face of Team 2. They are threatening a nuke defense unit. They are threatening a whole bunch of magic strikers and T3 artillery out from Korn. I think it's Korn, right? Yep, the T3 Cybran T3 artillery has been finished for Korn, is already bombarding, is already doing damage to the base of Team 2. This is really not a good situation to be in right now. Megalith firing upon your land factories, bricks running rampant all over your base, chasing away your one and only Fat Boy. Another Fat Boy. Oh yeah, there is a Fat Boy engaging a Rambocom. By the way, there's a MISTERLOL is now producing Rambocoms, and they are fighting Fat Boys toe to toe. Very cool indeed. It looks like, wow, it looks like the Rambocom might actually win this engagement, although he's lost his shield, while Fat Boy still has its own shield, so it's hard to say. Wow, not every day you see a Rambocom fighting a Fat Boy one-on-one. Not entirely sure how that happened. The Megalith, although, is running completely rampant here. 2 missile defense units destroyed. That means the nukes could easily overwhelm Team 2 right now. Air factories being destroyed. Friggin' generators being destroyed. Really not good here. Look at the devastation. All these Percivals, all these bricks just running all over the place. The commander of MISTERLOL is nearby. The commander of AmonRa does get destroyed. He gets hit by the artillery shell. He actually died from an artillery shell right there, I'm pretty sure. And now MISTERLOL just walks at the Megalith and accepts his own death. So it looks like Aranei is the sole survivor. He still has a whole bunch of assets, of course. He's got himself a nuke launcher, which hopefully he can still launch. I'm not entirely sure. He's got 2 artillery pieces, right? That's 2. Yeah. 2. He started work on the Ethotha. I'm not entirely sure if his artillery has pierced anything. It looks like no damage was taken whatsoever. And now there's finally the artillery out from Lyuker has been finished as well. So I'm expecting them to fire in sync, even though they're controlled by different players. Maybe Lyuker can transfer the control to Korn. We'll see. Because Korn clearly has shown he deserves it. He's proved himself extremely competent throughout this game. You know, what with winning air many times against AmonRa. Oh, the artillery is now hitting the artillery of Aranei. Yeah, that is really not good, and I think he's walking out accepting his own death once again. He does have some nano repair, but in the face of a Megalith running at you, it's not gonna do anything. And there we go. That's the end of the game right there. The Ethotha never gets finished. The Megalith will just continue its rampage, or would have, if the game didn't stop. And yes, this is the end. So I hope you enjoyed this game, because I found it absolutely great. I enjoyed it immensely, and I hope so did you. And if you did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more, and maybe even leave a comment down below describing what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you'd like to see more. Yes, congratulations to Korn, Lyuker, Lazy Noob, Troll, and Ryunosuke for winning this marvelous game of Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever. You know, they were at a disadvantage initially when 2 of their players died, and then, you know, they were at a mass disadvantage throughout most of the game. And, interestingly enough, Korn was always at a numbers disadvantage against AmonRa, but ultimately, Korn managed to bring it back and destroy the opposing air force, and then, you know, Lyuker managed to walk into the enemy's base and kill one of the enemy commanders, and yeah, overall they did manage to take Team 2 apart and prevail against some serious odds. I wouldn't say impossible, but, you know, there were some odds at play here. I would definitely say that, you know, they did some good, for sure. But anyway, this is all I've got for you for today, so goodbye. Take care, everybody, and I hope to see you soon again on the battlefields of the future.